catch you Tuesday, not tomorrow. Bingo tomorrow. So I will be talking to you Tuesday night. KA1CDE.
CQ, the old friends net. CQ, the old friends net for 160. This is N4LQ, November 4, Lima, Quebec. Steve in Shelby, North Carolina. This is an AM only net. We take check-ins, make them into a list, and do a roundtable. Anybody wishing to check in using amplitude modulation, feel free to do so. Anybody is welcome. N4LQ listening.
Good evening, Steve. This is K4QE.
Indeed. K4QE, N4LQ. Hello, Tony. And, yeah, good to hear you again today. And you're sounding good. You sounded good this afternoon, too. And enjoyed that little session there. Gathered some information, which I have already put to use and placed an order for some flax seeds. Anybody else want to check in? This is N4LQ. Okay. I guess it'll be a while. Anyway, so what you got on your plate there? I'm sitting here looking at my absentee ballot that I need to fill out. Oh my goodness, 2 pages of choices to make. I usually look them up on the internet, but some of these positions have 10 or 15 people running. That's going to be fun. I'm going to decide whether I pick the person most likely to win or the person that is best for the job. Yeah. K4QE, N4LQ.
All right, Steve. Yeah, we got our absentee ballots is here too. Haven't had a chance to open the envelopes yet, but plan to do it real soon. Yeah, I was glad to hear everybody on the net today. I guess that's why people don't show up here at night, because they figure, I already put my dues in today. Only the diehards show up. But I noticed a lot of talk about the ham clock thing, the ham clock software, and I sent a note out to both of the Old Friends Net groups, IO group, and the Over the Hill Gang group about installation instructions for Windows. So I know some folks are considering buying that separate box, and maybe that's what they want. That's fine. But in case they don't, those Windows instructions work, and they work well. I've tested them on my own machine. Now, there are variations, of course. There's people are running Windows 10, Windows 11, and so on, and there may be some little differences between what they're running, so they might run into a couple of small issues, but I think the instructions I provided are as thorough as they can be, given the situation. So, but I did run them myself, so I know they work. Anyway, I'm hoping that this week will be a relatively quiet one. Small issues. I do have some planned work to do. And that should go smoothly. It's been well planned, and we've already done similar things like it several times last week, so I don't anticipate any issues. And so we'll just wait and see what pops up, because something always does, right? You know how it is. N4LQ from K4QE.
Roger. Audio sounds good tonight. Real nice. Nice band conditions, I guess. No static or anything here. And ham clock. I remember seeing one of those things you hang on the wall. It cost thousands of dollars. I thought, I don't know what good that is. I guess it's got that gray line that you're supposed to be able to tell where the DX is, I guess. I don't know. I never paid any attention to it. I got time here on the computer. I got a clock. I got a phone. It's got the time on it. Time is everywhere. And all I got to do is be there on time. So I'm not sure. Apparently there's some kind of a piece of hardware that Dave was talking about. Must be a kit or something you can set around it, but I did a Google search on it, and there was so many hits it was kind of hard to figure out what's what. I saw some software that was downloadable for Windows and Linux and all this stuff. That's probably what you're talking about, I assume. Anyway, I got the LMAC back online here. Last night, right before the net, it decided to be contrarian. It wouldn't oscillate. So I took it apart, looked it over, couldn't find anything wrong. Flipped the band switch and it started working. So I assume it's got a dirty band switch, but you cannot get to it. You can't even figure out where to stick the WD-40 nozzle to spray in the thing. It's locked up like a Fort Knox. So I just got my little digital VFO out, DDS, and plugged it in, and it comes out to a crystal plug, FT243 crystal plug on the end of the cable. I just plug it right into the rig and checked it out, and I think it saw that as a threat, and it's decided to work, at least for a while. Let's see if anybody else wants to check in. It's N4LQ.
W4JPL.
There's the other half of the Liberty Brothers. Howdy, John. Missed you the last few days too. And anyway, how's the packing and loading situation doing?
W4JPL here. It's coming along. I've been a little puny at night and still working around other things that are going on, some crazy stuff. As far as the ham clock is concerned, I saw a YouTube video of this guy with this ham clock, and for $60 chip, you can get a little mini computer already pre-configured. Runs on Linux or something. I forget what it runs on. Ubuntu or Ubuntu or I don't know, Obi-Wan Kenobi. But it's pre-configured. All you got to do is hook a monitor up to it and stick it up on the wall. And I think you can also make it connect right to your computer to and display on your Windows computer. So rather than all type of software crap, that's Tony's thing, not mine. It sort of comes under my philosophy, whereas I don't want to build a watch, I just want to tell the time. There is another program out there if you just want to look at gray lines and all that called Simon's World Map that works very, very well. I've got that on my computer, but it's basically eye candy. This is supposed to have all kinds of things you can do with it, so I thought, you know what, I need a new toy. So I got monitors laying around doing nothing, so I just thought I'd buy it and play with it for a while. $60 is entertainment value if I get a few hours entertainment out of it. M4LQ W4JPL.
Okay. Well, you're easy to entertain. If a clock will do it, then that sounds like you're easy to please. I think I would get bored in about 3 seconds looking at a clock. But anyhow, there's probably some website that has the gray line on it. Matter of fact, I think my logging program has something like that built in. I don't know for sure. I never did really care. I mean, if it's DX you want, I don't know. I guess try to work it, and gray line or no gray line. So let's see. I don't want to get stuck in the middle of here, so let's go ahead and start rotating, and let's see if anybody else wants to go before Tony takes over. N4LQ, anybody else? Go ahead, Tony.
All right, Steve. This software is free, and as John pointed out, that the box that everybody's buying, it's preloaded and it's preloaded onto the box, which is fine. If that's what you want to do, that's just great. But if you have your own Raspberry Pi already, you can do it yourself without having to buy anything, and you can load the software on your Raspberry Pi. It can also be loaded into Windows, Mac, or Linux with a little bit more difficulty, but it certainly can be done. It's not that hard. So lots of options. But there's a lot of people asking about this ham clock software, so it looks like it's going to be a pretty popular piece. I'll send you a screenshot of it so you can see what it looks like. It's much more than just a gray line map. So I'll send you a screenshot of what I'm showing on my screen, and you can decide for yourself if you're at all interested. And if you want to install the software on a piece of hardware that you already have, regardless of the operating system, just let me know, and I'll be glad to help you out if you need any. So over to you, John, W4JPL. Good evening to you. Good to hear you. This is K4QE.
Okay, K4QE, W4JPL. Fine business. Well, like I said, it's just, it does a lot of things besides just show a gray line. That's why I'm curious about it. So it may be one of them things that I'll use for exactly 8 minutes and say big deal, so what, and stick it in a closet somewhere on a shelf or in a drawer. We'll see. I just saw it the other morning, and I thought, it's been a while since I had something to play with, so that's why I bought it. Other than that, like I said, I haven't done anything with ham radio. Just been puny a little bit and working around the house a little bit and doing what I can. I had my son-in-law over here yesterday helping me do a bunch of stuff, so that's good. I'll tell you one thing that I never heard of that I've been watching on YouTube. They now make, well, they apparently have made them for a few years, they now make metal 3D printers that 3D print metal. And it's either in a special form or a powder, and it's applied with a binder, and then you put it in a washer to clean it, and then you sinter it. So I know all about sintering technology from my work days. So it's basically you take the particles and you fuse them together, and they call it sintering. So it works. Now this is cool. I've never seen this before, so I've been watching that. I doubt I'm ever going to invest in it. You're probably talking big bucks by the time you buy the printer, the washer. It's a special washer, and the sintering machine. And I'm sure you're not going to run that on 110 volts at 220 line in your house if you got enough amperage at the wall. N4LQ, W4JPL.
W4JPL, N4LQ. Anybody else want to check in?
WFTU Whiskey Foxtrot 2 uniform.
Well, there he is, Mr. Mirror. You sounded good this morning or this afternoon on that DX100, but I can tell you're back on that government-issued radio. Okay, well, I guess it'll probably work here too, wouldn't it? The DX100, or is there something wrong with it? Anyhow, well, we got dog hair here from two dogs, so today I decided to vacuum the floor. I don't know why I do that. XYL was sneezing and carrying on though, so I figured it was about time. Swept up about 5 dogs, I think. Man, oh man, I tell you, they make a mess. And okay, on the Raspberry Pi, my amplifier has a Raspberry Pi in it, and that's when I boot it up, it comes up with the raspberries across the screen and all that. It's a little bit of entertainment. I haven't even used it for quite a while. The only time I use it's on CW mostly, or I used to use it here on sideband, but not on AM. And metal 3D printers. I don't know, maybe I could print out a key or something. Will it do brass? So Mir, go ahead and take it, and let's see, you'll turn it back to turn it over to let's do Tony. Yeah, you go to Tony, and then to John, and then to Mir, and then to me. How's that? WF2U, N4LQ.
Yeah, Roger, N4LQ. And Annette, this is WF2U. Well, good evening, everybody. And yeah, my DX100B is tuned to 160, and I think it sounds good now into the dummy load. But I didn't have time. I came in, I just ran out here late, and I didn't have time to diddle with the antenna tuner because it was set on 80 meters, and I didn't want to start messing with it while I'm late here and start causing some adjacent frequency interference while I'm tuning up. I'll do it probably tomorrow. I pre-tune it and mark the settings so I don't have to do that again. And the T195 is auto-tuned, so it doesn't care that the SWR right now is like 2.5 to 1. He doesn't care at all. He tunes always to the same antenna current. Well, I mean the same plate current, no matter what. Whether it's putting out power or not, it's always the same plate current. And it's putting out 100 watts anyway, so it's good enough. I don't have an antenna tuner on this, an external antenna tuner. So anyway, yeah, everybody sounded just great. And just like you said, Steve, that it's interesting that everybody was more or less the same signal level within, of course, maybe 10, 15 dB the most, but that was way above 9. And sometimes a whole bunch of people were exactly the same. They were just coming up and down a little bit with QSB. So that's the story. And sorry. Let's see. Oh yeah. K4. N4QE, this is WF2U.
Okay, my ear, good to hear you. You sounded great on 80 meters today, and you sound good here too tonight. Conditions are very nice. So, loved the sound of your DX100 on 80 today. And what was I going to say? Oh, the ham clock software is it's only, I guess, really more interesting for DXers than anything else. It's not, for the average rag chewer, it probably doesn't mean much. It's really geared towards DXing, and you can link it with your local cluster and DX cluster and all other kind of stuff. And you can have it talk to WSJTX, and it'll show up all the things you're hearing. It'll show up as it'll display the calls on the map and so on. There's all kinds of cool stuff that's built into the thing. The thing that interests me about it is the windows that show the solar conditions. I have mine set up to show the solar flux, the X-ray output of the sun, and the current solar, the picture of the current solar disk in hydrogen alpha. So and it just looks pretty. I'm sure some guys will take that thing and put it on a huge display on their wall because, like I said, it is kind of cool looking. But there you go. So whatever floats your boat, I guess. Over to you, John, W4JPL from K4QE.
K4QE in the group, W4JPL. All right, fine business. Well, again, hello, Mira. I hope you're doing all right today. So that's exactly what I'm going to do. I'm going to put it up on a monitor on the wall and just something to look up at occasionally and go, ooh-ha. I got a Raspberry Pi. I got two of them. I think I got one in the freezer that I need to eat, and I got another one that I bought, and my son loaded it up with all kinds of games. And I tried it once. Matter of fact, I tried it once when I was that month I was down the beach last February and played with it for about 2 hours. I'm like, games are boring. I'm not a computer game person. So that was the end of that nonsense. Over to you, Mir. WF2U, W4JPL.
Yeah. W4JPL, this is WF2U. Yeah, sorry about the pauses between transmissions. I have to let the dynamotor spin up when I press the press to talk. Anyway, you're a little bit weak here today, and Steve is pretty strong. I don't know, conditions are weird tonight on 160, although it's not noisy at all. but it's a little on the weak side. I'm almost finished with the G76. The bezel is all put together. I just checked. The glass is sitting nice and it's not moving. Everything's set. And all I have to do is fit the body into the bezel where it's split and make sure that the adjusting screw extension hits the that little fork or whatever that comes out of the pivot, so it can be still adjusted. So I have to align it. I'm not doing it tonight. I'll do it tomorrow with better lighting and less worn after the whole day. I did some stuff around the house and helped the XYL organize things. So now I'm here and relaxing. Steve, you sounded really great with the AF67 and on the old Friends net, and that was interesting how that coax that you were telling about attenuated a lot, well, 3 dB, especially around 20 watts or so. It's significant. So anyway, so let's see. I guess it goes N4QE or Steve, I don't know, because I got it from John. So I don't know if I must be the last one in the rotation. So N4LQ, this is WF2U.
Yep, I think we got it down pat now. Let's see, anybody else want to check in? Yeah, we sure could use some company, I'll tell you that. It's N4LQ. Yeah, that piece of coax, I cut the end off of it and stripped it and looked at, trying to figure out what in the world happened to it. And it was new when I put it in. Well, new in that it was new old stock, but it was still wrapped up in the package from Radio Shack from who knows when, but still it was nice and supple and all that stuff. But I put a toroid on each end by wrapping the coax around it, and I think that was the undoing of the coax. It must have not liked that. I've had people tell me, oh, you can't do that because the signal will get lost. But apparently it's true. I was losing exactly half the power on all of the low power rigs. Like this LMAC, I could only get about 17 to 18 watts or so out of it. And now it's like 38 with that coax gone. And somehow I just lived with all that for a long time. Even the Valiant was only doing 115, and it should have been closer to 140 or so. And the Viking 1 was only 80, and it should have been up to about 110 or so. So, boy, I tell you, I've been disappointed with a lot of rigs until now, and now they're all too powerful. So I've got a 3 dB attenuator set on top of the LMAC now before it goes into the amplifier, keeping things calm. Then this afternoon, I was going to use the T150 night on the old Friends net, and I was all fired up for it, and I had been using it. Everything worked, and I did a test transmission into the dummy load, and I couldn't get any audio. Just barely could hear it. And somehow, in the process of trying a different microphone, I must have plugged in the same microphone and come to the conclusion that it wasn't the microphone. I'm not sure how that happens. Sometimes you're just dumbstruck, and I was struck with dumb, I guess. Anyway, later on, I pulled it out of the cabinet and checked everything, and I found a solder joint on the mic jack I wasn't too happy with. Fixed that and plugged it in. It was still weak, plugged the mic in. And then I checked the gain pot underneath the D104 was turned down almost all the way. And that was it. That's all it was wrong. So I turned it up and boom, 150% modulation pops up. Well, nuts. Too bad it doesn't work on 160, or I would pester you with that. Hey, Mayor, I watched your latest video. I guess it's your latest video. I saw it on Facebook with kind of a short one with you herding the sheep. And that dog just went right after him, and the sheep knew right where to go. It's almost like they've been through that before. But I noticed the black sheep, they were all white except for one black sheep. I'm not sure what the purpose of that is. Is that from the song about the black sheep having wool or something? But either it was leading the other ones so they would follow, or it was the most intimidated by the dog and decided to go through the gate first. So maybe you can explain that. K4QE, N4LQ.
All right, Steve, very good. Well, I'm so happy that you found the problem that was holding your transmitters back. That's it's not the first time that I've seen that sort of thing happen. I had a piece of coax, a coax jumper that was provided by Elecraft that went between my my P3 and my K3, and there was always something a little funky about it. And someone mentioned that they were having a similar problem, and they changed the coax out, and it fixed their problem. And sure enough, same thing happened to me. So, coax jumpers can be a real bear. They look innocuous, and they cause all these problems that you think is your piece of equipment, and nope, it's the damn jumpers. So I'm glad you found it. You sounded great on the net today, and you did a great job conducting the net. Well, you do a great job on all the nets, Steve. I mean, you're out of all the net controls, you're probably one of the best, if not the best. So I just want you to know I appreciate that. And I am probably going to bug out of here on this transmission because my throat is giving out, as you can probably hear. So I'll say goodnight to everyone, and we'll talk to you tomorrow night. W4JPL, this is K4QE.
Okie doke. K4QE and group W4JPL. Liberty, North Carolina. Fine business, everybody. Yeah, the only further comment I'll make on the 3D metal printing machines, which has got me fascinated right now. I saw a video where they did a test on the 3D printed metal versus the CNC machine. They used aluminum, stainless steel, titanium, tool steel. The 3D printed outperforms significantly every time in tensile strength to the CNC machine. I'm thinking, wow. So, technology's cool. I'm going to bug out of here myself, boys. I'm really, really tired. I haven't been sleeping good last couple nights, even though I did get a half-decent nap today. So I'm going to say 73, God bless. I hope everybody has a great night, and maybe I'll catch you fellers in the morning on 75. Over to you, Mr. Mirror, sir. WF2U, W4JPL, 73. I'll be listening for a few.
Yeah, very good, John. W4JPL and the group. This is WFTU. Yeah, very good, John. I get it. I'm tired myself. Anyway, 73. Have a good night and take care. We'll talk to you probably tomorrow. If you're available, but I'm sure you're pretty busy with the move. Anyway, so just relax here a little bit. Steve, I wonder. Oh yeah, okay. Well, first of all, the dog the dog picks them up and fetches them to me. That's the first thing I send out. It's called an outrun and fetch. When I send the dog out and he sees the sheep, he goes behind them, and then they start moving, and so he fetches them to me, and I have the open gate. He's trying to kind of get out of where we have to go, and the dog invariably just goes and fetches it back. But he's trying sometimes. There are some sheep like that is trying every time to get his own way, and with a dog that knows the job, they're not getting away with it. So simply the dog is blocking it from behind. You didn't see him fetching stray sheep, so after some nice videos. And so anyway, that's it. So that's why they go through easy through the gate, because the space in front of them is actually bigger than the pen that they were in before. So they go pretty easily. Anyway, so that's the whole thing about it. And considering my dog is almost 15 and a half, it's doing usually a nice job, unless you were watching the video from a year ago when he was 14 and a half. He worked just the same. Anyway, so back to you, Steve. N4LQWF to you.
Okay. Yeah, I enjoy watching your videos. Anybody else want to check in before we check out? Oh, okay. Well, I was hoping Cliff or somebody to come along. 3D printing reminded me of Boone, WA4EVK. That'd be the guy to talk to about that. I was going to ask John how they print heavy metal, or, metal's kind of hard, so does it melt it? That takes a lot of heat. I guess it doesn't. I guess it grinds it or something. My dentist does 3D printing on crowns, and while you wait in the chair, that's really nice. I guess you wait around for half an hour or so after he gets done. He's got to grind your tooth down and takes pictures of it with a machine, and then he hits a button that goes to the printer, and half hour later you got your crown. He sticks it on your tooth and you're done and out the door. I love that. Let's see. I wonder if there may be an opening in Texas for your dogs if they can herd goats. I saw where they're using goats to clear brush that's prone to forest fires down in Texas. Some certain kind of brush, apparently, and it's flammable. And this guy brings his goats in, and he said they'll eat anything. So they clear it off, and he picks up the goats and heads back home. Anyway, I think I'm going to get off here too and start to work. I've got this absentee ballot, so I've got to look up all these people and try to figure out who they are. And I don't know. It's tempting not to even vote. There's just so many of them. I mean, they, like for lieutenant governor, there's 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11 people running for lieutenant governor. Gee whiz, I'm supposed to know all this? Anyway, back to you, and we'll just wrap it up for the night. WF2U N4LQ.
Yeah, Steve, very good. Actually, I don't mind. I haven't had dinner yet, so I can eat a little bit earlier than usual. So, so I can eat more than just a snack, because I don't like to eat a full dinner before going to, an hour or so before going to bed. So now it gives me a little bit more time. All right, I'll talk to you tomorrow, I guess. 73, have a good night. And maybe I'll have time to get that antenna tuner tuned on to 160 by the DX100, and we'll try it on 160. So 73, have a good night, Steve, and thanks for running the net. N4LQ, this is WF2U. Good night.
Okay, alrighty. Have a good night. I'm anxious to hear the DX100 here on the 160. And good night, Tony and John and Mir. This N4LQ. Thanks for coming by. Closing the net.